Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Okay, legends, welcome back to Street Fighter Duel on SEA. And today we're playing at Coco Jackson 7 account. I'm gonna call him Coco from now so you can understand what I'm talking about. So his account is really stacked. This is a player that is not a low spender. He's not free to play at all, and he's a whale. He's not the heaviest whale, but he's one of the top whales, and he's dominant on his account. I think he's rank 1 in everything, not almost, he's rank 1 in everything, and he's dominating, and he's going and playing in Showdown and everything. So this one, because of the lack of guides on SEA servers or the version of this game, and the other guides are for global, and whoever tells you that they're from global without playing this game and telling you this is the guide that you want to do, they're giving you a glimpse of what they know, the knowledge about global. Especially me, when I do my tier lists and my accounts, and I tell you what to do and what not to do on global, it doesn't also go 100% with the SEA version. So I'm gonna give you all the tips and tricks. I'm gonna talk about the characters exclusively in this video, and we're gonna move on, and I'll make more videos, more detailed videos, more in-depth, telling you and explaining to you everything. Now, today I've been playing a little bit, so I went and I dropped like 10 minutes to clear chapter 3830, I think, or 3832. I mean, I defeated it, it wasn't a problem, or 39, this is 39. The thing is that everybody are using the same almost teams, and Zangief is not one of the teams that you can use on except for speed, but you can't use him for stunning. You can use him for grouping and for speed and a little bit of bleed, and that's it. But the other things that you've seen in my videos, that I was putting him as a main unit and as top unit in the tier list, he's not here as a top unit. He's a good, decent unit for speed, exclusively for speed, and for buffing bleed a little bit and doing some grouping. Other than that, I will be showing in the next video how I defeated this stage with 4 teams, and I will show it to you. Some people might not like it because it's not free-to-play friendly, but I used 2 teams that are super free-to-play friendly, and you can use them, and these teams will shock you. And the best MVP character, at least for me, in the entire game and for that team, is Cody. Yes, Jailbreak Cody. This is the maximum ascension you can take him to. 160 levels is the only levels that you can take him to. Still, he's a beast. And of course, I use the gears. This is how I defeated the stage. He's almost naked with the spirits or with the exclusives, but he's having the gears of Guile because he can wear them. So you can switch between him and Guile and give him the gears, or build gears for him in the future. That depends on you. I didn't even use Guile in the clearance, and he's a main unit to use actually, and we'll be talking about them. So basically, what do you want to do when you play SEA and what units to build? First of all, from the characters that you see here, you need a carry in every tower. So your main carries that you want to build on the wind tower are Guile and Chun-Li. Chun-Li, don't underestimate her. I would build Guile just for the progression, for he's the main carry, but for other lineups you need Chun-Li. And Chun-Li, I would highly recommend to build her at least to plus 20, but plus 30 is so important for her, and if you can get her to plus 30, your account will be set and ready. Her cards 6 out of 6, of course. Guile is the only character that will not work unless you get him to plus 30, because the Saber Kick bonus explosion effects no longer consume Saber stacks, and you want your Saber stacks always on him. He's good, he's useful with plus 20, but for me in higher difficulty stages, past beyond chapter 43 or something like that, he's useless without his sabers because you need the extra damage. Plus 30 is a must on Guile, plus his cars, of course. We'll not forget about that. Abel, one of the greatest units and tanks in the game. For you now that you don't have Suit Abel, as you see, he went to plus 30. If you can get him to plus 30, I know this is a hard investment, but it's super important. If you can't, plus 20 is where you want to stop with him. On my free-to-play on global, I have him at plus 20, same effects, and I didn't upgrade him yet. And when I have the chance, I have the resources, I'm gonna go and make him plus 30. His 6 out of 6 is super important. His White Eye will heal him and will shield him, and he will keep him alive. So this is one of the units that you want to build. For Zangief, Zangief, you need to get him to 6 out of 6. You can stop there. You don't even need to go for the plus 30 for him. Plus 10 is good. Plus 20 will be nice because the stomp will affect all enemies and will increase, or its damage is increased to 180. This is not important. You can keep him at plus 10. Plus 20 will give him stats, I understand, because the stats will increase here, but it doesn't matter. Plus 10 is where you need to leave him. and you want to go for the cars for the 6 out of 6, just for him reducing the target's damage reduction by 15%, which makes him a good bossing unit. You can use him in bossing because every time he does his wild beast spin, he will reduce the enemy damage reduction by 15%, which make him a great debuffer for bossing, and a great debuffer twice for bossing, one for bleed and once also for damage reduction, which is really great. This is what I can talk about him. This is why he will stay in the top tier when I do the tier list. Not the best unit, but he's really great in the aspect of bossing, in grouping, in giving speed for the team. So his value is also increasing and will not be decreased. Now, for the other units, Sweet Poison is the best support in the game as normal faction. It's the second support in the game in total. First, before her, I would say Athlete Chun-Li, then her, then Rose. Maybe her and Rose, you can debate who's better for who. I think that she's great for progression because her C2 can charm, her C1 can give you a pressure, can give you crit damage, and can give you attack for your team, and it's for 15 seconds. You can stack it twice or something like that. I think it's 15 seconds. Let me read it so I don't be misdirecting or misleading. 16 seconds, it's even more. So you're gonna gain Toxic Love, provides additional 15% pressure, 15% attack, and crit damage by 40% for 16 seconds. And you can do 2 rotations and get double stacks of that and deal more damage. So this is one of the important units. This is why I'm talking so much about the Wind faction, because most of their units, all of them almost, are so important. I will talk about Jailbreak Cody in the end. Yun and Yang. Yun and Yang are so important because of their assist. Now you can use them on lineup. They're a good PvP at the start of the game. The most important thing about them is the +5. Now if you get them to +10 to +20 more stats, it means when you put any unit on or you put them on any unit as an assist, they will give them more stats, which will help your targets if they're carry, support, or whatever they are, to get even more stats and survive a little bit and deal more damage. So Yun is a unit that can be equipped on any unit that does any trigger, like Beast Zangief or Gormagala Ken or Evil Ryu. But all of these, Evil Ryu and Gormagala Ken, are trigger characters that does trigger stuff. Whenever you click any combo, they go and deal their own combos. So every 12 seconds, because it have 12 seconds interval time, he will drop and give you 80 combo meter and deal some damage, which is absolutely nice. On the other hand, Yang, which is another character, which is his brother, at +5, he will drop into the field anytime your character crits and give you 80 combo meter. And of course, it has a trigger interval time, which is 12 seconds. It means if you crit back to back, he will not go twice and give you 160 combo meter. He will give you combo meter for the first time you crit for 80. After 12 seconds, the cooldown will go off. If you crit again with that character, he will give you another combo meter. It's a good for the game starter. If you want to start the battle with him or with a unit that will hit immediately and they can crit, he will immediately drop to the field, give you 80 combo meter. Even if you're lower on speed, you can be at the same level of speed and you can start your combo meter immediately. I'll be showing that in the next video while I defeated the chapter and show you everything about it. Now, Cammy. Cammy is one of the most important assist characters in the game, especially if you're using Chun-Li and you want her to stack for bossing with her, so Chun-Li can deal more damage and she can crit more and give crit buffs to the enemies, because to her allies, because the armor break she will capitalize on it. Chun-Li doesn't apply armor break, but if the unit has armor break debuff on them from any different character, Chun-Li will deal even more damage. This is why we see her greatly used with the assist of Cammy, and Cammy becomes an assist unit exclusively and not a unit for as carry or something else. She's great for bossing when you get her to +30. In my account, she's the main unit for me to for a year long that I played her on bossing, and I dominated with her actually. It was super nice until we got these overpowered mega fighters, and then I dropped her into an assist. I don't feel sorry for making her for +30 because she helped me before and got me all these rewards. Now for you, if you're free to play, you can do the same, but I don't recommend it. I highly recommend keep her at +10 or get her to +20 just to get the stats, because her stats are amazing for a carry that you can slap her on top of an assist and she will give them that. Now what does she do? Any trigger that you will do and no trigger interval time, she will drop into the field, deal some damage, and she will apply armor break 100%. There's no chance for her not to apply armor break. Unless the unit says cannot be debuffed at all, or any condition of your enemy. So she will drop and give you armor break, and it stacks up to 10 times. This is the max, the cap for it, and she will always have 10 stacks on the enemies on trigger characters. This is why we use her on Eva Ryu, we use her on Gormagala Ken, and in the future, if you get more characters as trigger, you can use her on them. And of course, you can use her on somebody like Abel passively, he gonna trigger, or you can use her on B Zangief. Every time he stomps, which is his auto attack, he will do a trigger. So every time he auto attack, he triggers, and she can go and drop on and do her armor break. And this is all what I wanted to speak about these units. Now, of course, there's special mentions for other units. I'll be talking about Jailbreak Cody and why is he super important in this game. Jailbreak Cody has one skill that I think it's the most OP skill in the game, which is his super, which with his passive, when attacking an enemy affected with control, Cody has a 30% chance to improve the tornado. Of course, this is great. I think it's in the super written here. After the battle begins, the first use does not drain the super combo meter gauge. This is perfect. Now, the condition is it will reduce the combo damage of all teammates by 80% for 6 seconds. So what do I use with him that I can delay the fight until the 6 seconds goes away and I can use a C3 that deals damage? It's Dalsim. Now, Dalsim is not one of the greatest units in the game right now because he's nerfed a little bit, but still he deals increasingly insane amount of damage. Now, you can't stack him for bossing as we do on Global anymore, but you can use the time frame that you have in story progression to deal as much damage as possible, and this will be handy. So I start with his super, I delay a little bit, use any C1, delay a little bit, use any C2, and delay a little bit, and then use the C3 of Dalsim, which will give me more than 6 seconds for me to apply the full damage of Dalsim, and then I can repeat the action with his super. Now, what does his super do is grab the last unit in the back row and stun them if you are lucky, because it has an interval, I think 50% base chance. He does it at 50%, which is absolutely nice. 3 seconds of stun, you can do whatever you want and interrupt the combo. This is the most valuable unit for me in the game, and I use it in a strategic way and technical way. I'll be showing you that in the next video. Now, let's move on and talk about the Thunder units. Thunder units, basically what you want to build from the start of the game until the mid game is Mad Ryu. Mad Ryu, you're not gonna use him in story. Maybe you can use him. He will also be viable. You can use him anywhere. Any fighter, you can use them if you want, as just for them to stand there or do any combo for you to continue a combo chain. But Mad Ryu, from early game to mid-late game, he'll be used and he will be powerful, and then you're gonna drop him immediately because he's not that viable and he's so squishy and loses his health. So you want somebody else to deal AoE damage. Really good, solid unit, and then you're gonna move on. So I would highly recommend to get him to plus 20. This is the perfect investment for him. If you get his cards, that's absolutely nice, and that's it. You don't need more than that. Another unit that is super important, which is Poison. Normal Poison. Poison silences. Poison deals more damage, crit and crit rate. She's absolutely a powerhouse, especially for your progression in tower. At plus 20 until now, she absolutely destroyed the towers for me on my free-to-play account on Global. If you get her to plus 30, it will absolutely be crazy because the final blow also create an additional electric loop, and this electric loop could silence the enemies. Of course, get her to 6 out of 6 if you can. Don't stop at there. She's an absolute carry for you for the electric tower. Now, speaking about supports in this category, the best healer in the game, Elena. Now, you need to build Elena at least to get her to plus 10. I think plus 20 is great for her. Any character, if you can go and put him at plus 20, it will be great. Her thing is you get her at least to 3 out of 6 so she can unleash the Hurricane Tower. 6 out of 6 will be absolutely fantastic, but 3 out of 6 she will unleash it and do her C2 at the start of the battle, which increases the super combo gauge accumulated to 100. At the start of the battle, you're gonna get 100 combo meter at the start immediately, plus you will buff your carry, and her healings are awesome. She's really a great unit. These tanks, 100% you need to build them. Now, sadly for Zangief, they removed on his skill the 6 out of 6, which is removing the passives just like on Global. On Global, once he hits somebody with his C2, if you have him at 6 out of 6, he removes the passive of the unit. But here, Banishing Flat, including trigger skill, reduces the target effect resistance by 25% for 10 seconds, which is bad actually. It means they can take more stuns, more burn, more bleed, more shock, or whatever the effect or the debuff of it is. But this is not a good unit, not a good solid effect on him. Other than that, everything about him is still the same. The great thing about him is his passive, which is reduces flame, thunder, or soul damage taken by 20%, which goes up to 50% until the end of the battle for himself, 50% for himself. On top of that, while Zangief is present, all allies, including himself as well, increase or receive 25% flame, thunder, and soul damage reduction until he dies. So he gets 75% decrease on these, and the other allies on your lineup get 25% decrease, which will make them more alive. Versus Flame, I always use him. I barely die with him, but my lineup could survive even more when I use him. So keep that in mind. Honda, he's a must build, at least to 3 cars for you. 3 cars upon entering the battle, a bullet wall will be created, so ranged attack will not hit you anymore. Now at 6 out of 6, the desperation trigger, it creates a bullet wall again, so you can apply it one more time by the end of the battle, or but when he drops on HP. The greatest thing about him is his C1. His C1 is for stunning. I use it to stun, and it has a base chance of 50%. Okay, it's a 50%, it's not 40%. So he will stun the enemies, and it's absolutely fantastic. And whoever is stunned by his stun takes even more damage. And he's a very tanky unit, so he's very good. Now I'll be talking quickly about the fire. The only 3 units you need to focus on, or 4 units in general. Let's say 5. So Viper is a must-have. Build her, max her, whatever you can do, as much cars as you can put, plus 30 if you can, and soul power. Of course, you need soul power on her, and as you see here, she's almost maxed. She's maxed to 100, which means in PvP she also helped, and in bossing she helped. This unit is absolutely crazy. The great thing about her is her shields with her passive. Whenever it triggers the armor energy, it doesn't get removed if you have her at 6 out of 6. You need her at 6 out of 6 because when this effect triggers, each stack of armor energy fills the super combo by 50%, and they will not get removed. No longer removes armor energy. This is the most important thing for her. 6 out of 6, and then get her to whatever skill that you want with whatever limit or thing that you want. Plus 30, of course. You need to max this unit because she nukes backline, plus she deals thunder damage plus flame damage, and her thunder damage can stack, and she can deal even more damage. Absolutely the best unit in the game right now as for damage for you, until we get Flame Aidon as well, because here Dalsim fell off a little bit. He needs plus 30, plus he needs 6 out of 6 for him to be absolutely a monster. But other than that, even up plus 20, even up 3 cars or less cars, he will be an absolute monster. You can't go wrong building him. He's an absolute AoE monster because the burn will deal damage over time, and you will see that in my replay in my next video. One of the other units that you need to build is Summer Yang. Summer Yang, you don't need to build him max. If you can get him to plus 10, that would be awesome. Plus 20 will be crazy for him. Don't go beyond plus 20. As you see here, we built him to plus 30. You didn't have to. Nobody have to build him to plus 30. It's great. Everything is great if you can do that, but plus 20, you can keep him at that and get his 6 out of 6. He will heal, he will shield, and his C2 is crazy. Many people don't understand this about him. His skill is not only to use the C1 for HP and shields, it's also his C2. His C2 will apply armor break, and every hit of armor break will give you combo meter by 60, so it will fill your combo meter and make you deal more even combo damage. Now, other units that you need on assist, which is Mayor Cody and Fei Long, especially Fei Long. Fei Long, with his assist, he will increase the damage of any fire damage. So as long as the assisted fighter survives, all enemies take 12% more flame and burn damage, which is absolutely crazy. And plus Mayor Cody, his plus 5 is the only thing that you want from him, because it will increase at the start of the battle the damage dealt by your unit by 15%, which is really great actually, and it will help you deal more damage on bossing as well. Now, talking about Master, the 2 top units that you want to build here is Rose. First of all, never summon for her. Now, if you're a whale and you're paying money, yeah, go and summon for her, good luck. But if you didn't, go and build her from the shop. By time, you need her at SS, and that's it. You can get her to plus 20. If you get her to plus 30 and you get her triple S and 6 out of 6 cards, that's it. You don't need to go more. Now, of course, you can go and build her soul power if you want. I would highly recommend to build her soul power once, and that's it. Don't go even more than that. If you can, that's up to you, but I will highly recommend. I can play her naked like this and it won't affect me at all. She's absolutely a great unit. She will heal you, she will buff you, she will give you combo meter. She's all the things that you want in the game. Her assist is amazing. Everything about her is amazing. Now, the best support in the game, Athlete Chun-Li. Support / DPS. Now, she works on all levels, but when you get her to 6 out of 6 cards, she will be a carry as well as a support, because she will trigger her ultimate or her super at this every time she does her trigger, which is every time you use her C1. So you use her C1, and her C1 is absolutely insane. You can go and read the skill. She will drop a vortex, a ball, on the battlefield, and this ball will stay for 12 seconds, and it will every time you get hit by range attack, she will eliminate them. Plus, she will reduce the damage taken. If you're gonna read them from the passive, reduce the damage taken, increase your attack, and many more. Absolutely a crazy unit. She's one of the best units in the game so far, even on global. Now, if you're going for SST characters or special summon ticket characters, Akuma, as for us on global, was the first unit to have. He's a bossing killer. He's a great bossing DPS single target unit. Would I highly recommend building him? If you're a whale or low spender, of course go and build him. It's not wrong. He will be there for maybe for the next year. You'll be using him in PvP, in story, in bossing, everywhere. He will be absolutely crazy. He's one of the great units. Now, other than that, to give credit to what will happen next, you're not gonna be using him. And for me, I'm dropping him slowly, and I'm not using him anymore. But he's still there because we built him and he's seeing usage. Now, if he came out with all of the other units, nobody would build him. I would highly recommend go and build Eva Ryu. Eva Ryu will carry you so much in the game, in every aspect of the game. His thing is that he silenced. Other than he silence, he deals massive damage. He's a trigger character. He buffs your entire team with attack, plus he reduces the combo meter of your enemies, which allow you to deal even more damage. And he buffs everybody with Satsui no Iki, so you can deal even more damage. Absolutely a crazy unit. So, would I highly recommend for free-to-play to build Akuma? Absolutely not. Save your tickets. Go for even Ryu. Get him to SSS and save the other tickets. Wait until Rich Honda comes in. Wait until Visconde Vega, for Overlord Bison, for Gouken. These units will absolutely change the entire game for you. Don't build Gen. Don't bother with him. Dante, if you got him, that's absolutely good, because Dante is buffed right now and he can be used on bosses because his C2 will deal more damage. You need to get him at 6 out of 6. Now, one of the units that I want to mention for now, one of the best options for you if you're going and competing for bossing and want to be in the top, especially in Effigy Clash, because in Effigy Clash, she's one of the great bossing unit. She's great there in the bossing category for guilds, which is Trendy Cammy. Trendy Cammy, an absolute shock monster. She does shock, she does AoE damage, absolutely good. You can pair her up with Athlete Chun-Li, and both of them will carry you for with that. Now, for this category, I will not talk about Bison or Vega as they name him here. Absolutely a monster. Everybody knows what he's capable of. If you max him, congratulations. If you can't, at least as you need him to get there, and put plus 30 on him immediately so he can get the buffs for the team. Gormagala Ken or Monster Hunter Ken is an absolute powerhouse for you right now. In the future, he drops a little bit, but for PvP, for bossing, buffing for versus bossing, and debuffing the boss, lower his attack, absolutely crazy. Plus, he deals decent damage. He's a trigger character that can go on any team. Absolutely great unit. Eva Ryu, we talked about him. Sagat is an absolute monster, and you need him since we don't have a lot of stunners on SEA. You need him for his C3 because he stuns, and with RNG you can stun more and more, and he deals more damage. A great unit, plus he can be used in bossing as well for his C3 and for his other passives such as survivability. He survives like 3 times and you can't kill him immediately, and the only way to shut him down is with Eva Ryu. If he doesn't trigger his immunity and start healing immediately, you can bypass his immunity with him and kill him immediately. If you build Virgil, he can help you in story mode, or you can use him as an assist. He's a great unit. He needs the 6 out of 6 plus 30. If you can get him to plus 40, that would be absolutely crazy. If you can build stars on him, absolutely you can be more with him. You can use him in story mode. I intentionally didn't use him in story mode. I use him on assist position, which I can drop actually and use somebody else. Now for Jury, don't bother with her until they fix her. Which Jury is an absolute must build to double S. If you don't have her at double S, you don't need to play her. Maybe one copy of her, you can play her just for her to trigger her passive, delay a fight, play the long fight, and that's it. But if you want to really use her and use her usage, especially in the future with Fire Aidon coming on or Visconde Vega, you need her for the lifesteal as an assist. You just drop her on some unit as an assist, as SS, put some good gear on her, get her to plus 20, and she will be buffed a little bit. So then you can get more stats on these units, and you can use her for lifestealing and surviving a lot. Now, one of the units that I would buy if I wasn't free to play on my account, which is Nero. Nero with his C2 or his C1, I think he can interrupt and gather everybody else, just like Zangief used to do on Global, but on SEA he doesn't. So you can use him in progression. I use him in my video as a tank with not even clicking one single time on him, just to show you that he can survive a lot. That's the only thing that I wanted to showcase with the video, and I'll be showing him in the video, in the next video. Absolutely a monster. The thing is, he always triggers parry, and he will always have the buffs, and he will always do a good job in tanking and not die. Plus he can silence, plus he can deal good amount of damage, and he can interrupt. So he's a great unit if you bought him. If you're free to play, don't worry about it. You're gonna get a lot of other units that you can use. Fashion Blanca, for story progression, absolutely needed. He is one of the best teams that you can play is him with Honda and Chun-Li, and I will be showing that in the next video. They are a great combo. They start the battle, they put everybody in the end of the map, and then you can, whenever they want to start their combo, you can stun them with the C1 of Honda, and then use his C2, and then C3 from Chun-Li, and get your combo meter full, and you can go back to back, dealing damage, stunning them all the time, and ending the fight. An absolute unit. Of course, free to play will have him. He's accessible for everybody, and get him to 6 out of 6 cars, plus 30, and that's it. If you want to get him to plus 40, that's not a problem, but in the future you'll use him less for bossing and use somebody else. But until you get so many units, that's what we're going to talk about. For the shop, of course, I'm going to talk of the shop immediately. Dismissal shop, try to buy these fragments, that's it. And in the future, go for the faith gems. So if you want to compete in PvP and build your teams and make them stronger. In the guild shop, buy the Tanuki until it's maxed. So until you have all the Tanuki maxed, stop buying it or continue buying it because you can recycle it. I wouldn't highly recommend. I would recommend buying it, maxing the Tanuki whirl, and that's it, and stop after that. For the city shop, of course, go and buy every copy of Jury whenever you can. And I highly recommend buying the chests. I think the chest is, no, this is Ken Boost Stone Kit. These what are you need to focus on just to get the plus 30s on your characters, and that's it. Whatever you want to build in the early game, maybe you need some copies of Guile, and that's it. Honor shop, of course, go for Rose. Rose is the main key and the most important. Nothing here is important except these. But if you build, you have Rose, you got Rose, and you still have like 15 days, 18 days, 20 days, whatever it is, and you think you can afford one of these chests, you can buy them. But until you build Rose, at least to triple S, SSS, then stop and start buying these boost stone kits. And that's what I wanted to talk in general. Thank you, Coco, for the account review, and thank you for lending me the account to showcase some stuff. I'll be talking more in depth. I'll try everything in this game, and I will be making more tier lists, more guides, more videos for you guys. And you tell me what you want me to showcase in the future, and I will show it all to you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fly, time to fly.